I had put some very real consideration into doing the like a douchebag gaming YouTube thing, and actually, setting up a webcam and recording myself reacting to the Nintendo Direct this morning. Now I'm glad I didn't do that because it just would have been the just blankest face imaginable of me staring at various animal games and farming simulators that I don't give a shit about for about 25, 30 minutes of the Direct. Yeah, it felt like the farming simulator Direct, didn't it? I don't know. It's never really been my genre. I sampled Harvest Moon a long, long, long time ago. I'm talking like SNES. Like I think I rented it at some point, played it a little bit. Yeah, not really my jam. I think the Stardew Valley looks. I think it's one of the most gorgeous games I've ever played visually. I thought it was amazing to look at, but even it, I couldn't really sink more than about 5 hours into before I was like, nah, this isn't really my thing. So yeah, a lot of this Direct, I was kind of like, I don't, and I don't really care about Fire Emblem or even Bayonetta, if I'm being honest. I mean, I think it's cool that Nintendo has a franchise like that, but it's not really my jam. But so instead, I'm not going to go through every little thing, look at some Nintendo YouTube channel for that. Just talk about the things that actually jumped out at me in an interesting way that I wanted to kind of discuss more deeply here. Thing number one, GoldenEye. Now, as I sit here recording this, I'm literally sitting about 4 feet away from my Nintendo 64 that is currently plugged into the power, plugged into a TV, and I could have GoldenEye up and be playing it in about, 20, 30 seconds from right now if I wanted to. So GoldenEye being on the Switch Online doesn't really affect me so much, but I think it's very cool that they're doing that. I'm glad they are. I'm certainly a huge fan of the game. I've certainly played it a million times. What I'm really hoping is that Nintendo sees how successful this is. I'm assuming it has to be. I'm assuming lots of people will play it and can maybe figure out a way to bring the remastered Xbox Live Arcade version of GoldenEye to Switch as well, because that would be that would be a thing that I would love to. I heard something about they might be bringing that version to Xbox. If so, I'm going to be kind of depressed that Xbox is the one of the modern systems I don't have, because man, I would love to play that graphically updated version. That would be so cool. And I would hope that maybe if they can work out the licenses enough to do this, maybe we could eventually see some James Bond games be re-released, like some of the EA ones. Like it would be so cool to get even if they don't remaster anything, don't change any graphics, just port the old versions, so we could get like some Agent Under Fire, some Nightfire, some Everything or Nothing from Rush with Love on some of the modern consoles. Man, that would be so cool. I'd love to see the Bond franchise get that kind of heat in gaming format, especially if they're only going to be making one fucking movie every 5 years now. Pikmin 4. I know some people are hugely excited for this. I'm definitely going to buy it. I feel like it piques my interest that much, but I had a little bit of a kind of a nodding like, okay, let's see what you got reaction to that. Similar to how I felt with Metroid Prime 4. It's kind of funny, you can look at the reaction videos on YouTube to Prime 4's announcement. Reaction videos I always feel like are played up to the camera pretty substantially. I feel like if most of these people didn't have cameras on them, their reactions would be about 90+% more subdued. But anyway, people shrieking at Prime 4's announcement. I have kind of a interestingly different reaction to that, in that Metroid Prime, that is not the sub-series Metroid Prime, but the game, Metroid Prime, the 2002 game, is definitely extremely high up on my list of favorite games of all time. I've played it a whole bunch of times. I think it's phenomenal. As of the last time I played it a few years ago, I think it's aged incredibly well in every way. Graphics, the world, the gameplay, the secrets. I think it's a true masterpiece of gaming. I absolutely love it. Prime 2 I have never beaten, never gotten to the end credits, never reached the end credits. I could not stand the light and dark world mechanic and the limited ammo. And yeah, to me, Metroid Prime 2 isn't like a small dip down from the first one. To me, it's like a 9.9 out of 10 game Metroid Prime dip down to like a 4 out of 10 game Metroid Prime 2. I tried to beat it a few times. I can't. I couldn't summon any motivation to beat that game. And then Metroid Prime 3 just felt like a Halo game to me. I was like, these cutscenes, these people talking, this like cinematic shooter approach. You're on this space station getting attacked. You're falling through the ground, fighting Ridley in this highly kind of a cinematic boss cutscene almost. Now, just like, oh god, you had the formula right with Metroid Prime 1. Why couldn't you just stick to that? Just have a world, let me explore it. So then when they announced Prime 4, I was just kind of like, okay, well, you got 1 out of 3 so far from me, so hopefully, I mean, and that's kind of how I felt about I do that whole tangent, because that's kind of how I felt about Pikmin 4 also, because Pikmin 1 I absolutely loved. Back when it came out in 2001, I played it. I played it just a couple of years ago, I think. I literally pulled my damn GameCube out of the closet, plugged it in the TV just to play Pikmin 1, and I think it's great. Kind of a similar phenomenon with the Light and Dark World in Prime 2 that didn't do it for me. The cave stuff in Pikmin 2 didn't do it for me so much, and so I never finished that game. And Pikmin 3, I bought it when it came out, and for some reason, I think I petered out on that one too. I know I petered out. I know I never beat it. So I say all that, say that Pikmin 4 had kind of the same reaction for me that I had to Prime 4, which is me kind of nodding and being like, okay, let's see what you got. I mean, I'll probably buy it just because I'm interested in Nintendo and Miyamoto's work enough to do that, but there's no guarantee that it'll actually do that much for me. We'll have to see. Tales of Symphonia. This is an interesting one. This is a game I'm incredibly fond of. In a lot of ways, I think of Tales of Symphonia almost as like the last game that I really have nostalgia for. By which I mean that this is the last, at least, game that I got deep into, like before I kind of like left for college. I think that's kind of like the dividing line of what is nostalgia for me. Like all the video games that came out and movies and everything came out from 2005 onward through today, I more just kind of think of as like a stuff that came out when I was an adult. You know, adult is kind of pushing it maybe. When I think back to like being 19 in 2005, you know, more of a large child than an adult really. But yeah, everything like before, that's like the nostalgia dividing line almost exists in the form of the game of Tales of Symphonia for me. So that's like that's the last game that I feel like I have what I can think of as childhood nostalgia for. I mean, I was like a high school graduate, so even calling it childhood nostalgia is pushing it. But yeah, it's a great game. I think it's one of the best JRPGs out there for me. I think it's runs a little long. There's so many dungeons, but it just has a very charming story and world, and the exact amount of secrets and stuff to explore in optional areas and super bosses that it's a very robust gaming experience without getting annoying. There are some games that take that to the point where it just becomes not really even fun for me anymore. Just like, I don't want to do all this shit. But Tales of Symphonia, I did damn near everything on. I don't think I got maybe all the costumes or whatever, but yeah, it's a great game. Even like the voice acting a lot. And voice acting a lot of the times in games annoys me, but Symphonia, I liked it. I think it's if it's like a full $50, $60, I might be a little suspicious or might wait till it goes on sale. You know, maybe I don't want to spend that much, but just having it easily accessible on the Switch and kind of widescreen would be worth it dropping like 20 or 30 bucks for me. Because yeah, that's a great game. So I think it's cool that's coming back. Hopefully they can bring some more Tales games out. Wouldn't it be cool to go all the way back, bring Tales of Fantasia to Switch, you know? Mario Kart DLC tracks. It's kind of weird. I think it's cool they're doing this, basically doubling the amount of tracks in Mario Kart 8, which, you know, for the record, I would say I think is probably, if not my nostalgic subjective favorite, probably objectively the best Mario Kart game ever made in terms of just the complexity of stuff you can do, the control, the graphics, the number of levels, obviously, because, I mean, how many more? This already had way more courses, more tracks than any Mario Kart game ever made. What was it, 48 originally? And now they're like, what, doubling that to 96 or something? I might be a little off on those numbers, but it's something in that ballpark. And so it's cool they're coming back and doing this. I think it seems a little late for me. Like, I think adding all these new tracks might have been something that maybe they should have done closer to when the game came out for Switch, like, you know, 3, maybe even 4 years ago. Because at this point, I mean, Mario Kart 8 was something I pretty much put away, you know? Like when the game first came out, I'm not talking about the Switch version, I'm talking about way back on Wii U, 2014, I believe. Goddamn, almost a decade ago. I was playing it like crazy for a few months, as doing a single player and multiplayer alike. And then I kind of had the brief burst of resurgence of that when I got it on Switch and started playing with my wife and stuff. But at this point, I pretty well put that game aside for at least a few years now. So it's weird kind of... So as these tracks come out, these DLC tracks, it's cool they exist. But pretty much so far, my approach has been booting up Mario Kart 8, playing through the cups once each, or maybe twice if I don't get the gold medal until I get the gold medal, then shutting Mario Kart 8 off again until the next set comes out. And I'm sure that'll continue to be the case. I mean, I don't know, maybe a year or whatever from now, or a year and a half from now, once everything is out and I have almost 100 tracks in there, maybe I'll start trying to get into it again. So I think it's cool that these exist. I like pulling it out and playing it. I'm not saying I don't have fun with it. It just seems kind of late to me. Maybe that's me kind of looking a gift horse in the mouth a little bit, but that's kind of how I feel. I'm like, man, it is cool you're doing this, but couldn't you have done it like 4 years ago? Now, in contrast to Tales of Symphonia and GoldenEye, which I put a ton of time into over the years, over the decades, we have Kirby's Return to Dreamland. Now, I saw some people online being like, why are they bringing back Return to Dreamland? But funnily enough, this one actually works out really well for me, because this is outside of the Nintendo series I don't pay any attention to, which is like Fire Emblem, Splatoon. These days, Pokemon mostly. I haven't bought a Pokemon game in a long time. My Nintendo knowledge, first-party major Nintendo franchise knowledge, is fairly complete. I've played most of them in terms of mainline Mario games: Zelda, Kirby, Star Fox, Metroid, Donkey Kong. Kirby's Return to Dreamland, for whatever reason, is one of the only kind of major games in those series that I just mentioned that I've straight up never played at all. I don't know why I missed it back in the day. I had a Wii, I liked Kirby, I just never did it. And when Kirby's and the Forgotten Lands, is it Forgotten Lands or Forgotten Realm? I can't remember. Kirby and the Forgotten whatever came out earlier this year. I was actually like perusing through eBay and Amazon, right? Thinking maybe I can get a copy of this Return to Dreamland, pull up my Wii, finally play it. I didn't pull the trigger on doing that. Now I'm glad I didn't, because look, now we got this Return to Dreamland Deluxe, or whatever the hell it's called. So yeah, it's cool that that's actually one I'm looking forward to it as a new game, basically, because that's what it will be to me. I don't know if it'll be insultingly easy like some of the other Kirby stuff, but yeah, whatever reason, I totally missed this one back when it came out. I didn't even like play it briefly. This isn't even something where I'm like, oh, I played it for 10 minutes. I played it for an hour once. I have straight up never held a controller in my hand with a Kirby's Return to Dreamland on the TV. So this is great for me, actually. I'm kind of glad they're doing this one. This will be fun for me. It's just new ass game for me. So I'm kind of happy about that one. And last, certainly not least, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I guess we kind of have to separate game and trailer in this context. The trailer was, about 4 shots? We saw some hieroglyphics and Link going through a door, Link jumping off the clouds, Link taking an elevator to the sky, and then Link hopping on a glider, and then we cut to the title, and I'm like, really? That's what you got? Okay. It'd been in development for about 5 years. I thought maybe we'd get a couple nice minutes of gameplay. So the trailer, if we're being honest, slightly on the meh side in terms of how much they showed us. But in terms of excitement for the actual game, which we now know is coming out in May, astronomically sky high, which for me in video games these days is saying something, because I'm incredibly cynical and joyless these days, and very few things provoke any kind of real emotion or excitement in me anymore in gaming or any other context. I'm like basically dead inside. But the Zelda franchise is maybe one of the biggest exceptions to that. Not necessarily the only, but you could count on one hand, certainly, that provokes genuine, childlike, absolute, unfettered fanboyism and excitement in me. That's consistently been the case, going back pretty much my whole life to, before I was in elementary school, and it very much continues today. It's been a long ass time since I've gone out and bought a video game on day one. I'm trying to think back through my memories to the last time that's happened. I just can't come up with anything. I didn't get Mario Odyssey on day one because I didn't have a Switch yet. Yeah, I just can't think of anything in the last maybe I did download Bloodstained Ritual of the Night on day one, because I was pretty excited about the return of Igarashi to the Metroidvania formula. That might be an exception. Maybe one or two others, but yeah, that's all to say that this is a day one purchase for me in every way. This is one where I'm just I'm just shuddering with excitement. I can't wait. I would be shocked if I don't love this game, because the Breath of the Wild, like many other people, I put hundreds of hours into it. Thought it was spectacular. It's one of the few things that I've just enjoyed without a reservation in recent years. A few pieces of media in any medium that I've just been head over heels in love with. So I'm very excited for Tears of the Kingdom. Trailer, not much to write home about, but actual game itself, obviously I'm insanely excited, which I guess exists in stark contrast to the Final Fantasy 16 or whatever. Wherever thing I see makes me be like, this looks like something I don't give a shit about. But yeah, so that's my, I almost called it E3, that's not what it's called, Nintendo Direct thoughts. GoldenEye and Symphonia, cool, they're coming out. I'll probably get them, assuming I'm not, no one attempts to price gouge me on that. Kirby, very cool, because I have not played it. If I had played it, maybe I'd be like, I don't really need this, but to me it's a new game. Pikmin 4, I'm not gonna just squeal in glee over it, like I'm sure other YouTubers might, because 2 and 3 weren't exactly my favorite games ever, but Mario Kart DLC, I'll play it. Heck, I'm excited. Heck, I'll probably play it the day it comes out. That's how much I'm sure I'll have fun with it. But not something I'm so excited about that it's like a game changer for me. It's just like, that's cool. But Zelda's the big one for me. I'm sure I'm not alone in that among gamers. It's certainly my favorite gaming franchise of all time, at least collectively over time. If you're looking at certain periods in gaming history, maybe like Mario or Final Fantasy would poke ahead of it, but just taking the totality of the series' existence into account, from basically when I was born straight through today, Zelda is number one to me. Total basic bitch opinion, but it's just kind of how I feel. And Tears of the Kingdom, I'm very certainly the piece of media in any medium, video games, film, TV, books, anything else that I'm most excited for in 2023 is Tears of the Kingdom, despite the fact that this trailer was kind of and the rest of the show outside of the games I just mentioned, very for me. But if you ever had a fantasy of being a farmer that you could not live out because of your circumstances, guess what? Nintendo has got you covered.